Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Hullbreaker Isle Hard. This is one of two new instances made available by patch 3.3 Revenge of the Horde. My name is Ms. Tech and I'll be your dungeon guide. The trash in this first section is fairly straightforward, with the group going up against various challengers. Tanks be sure to pull the mobs out of these AoE zones as they buff the damage and haste of any mob standing inside of them. Horizonous Blast from this big guy will also apply a paralyzed debuff on all players. Stunning this is useful. The first boss involves fighting waves of sanguine sirens. This is a fairly straightforward encounter that involves burning down each ad as fast as possible to avoid getting overwhelmed, while also dodging the high number of AoE effects on the ground. Periodically, a curl will join the fight, tethering itself to and debuffing the healer. There is no way to break this tether, so all players should focus down the curl as soon as it comes up to free the healer as soon as possible. Once all waves are down, you can carry on to the next area. The next set of trash can be hard hitting at times, so healers and tanks beware. Otherwise, it's nothing you haven't seen before. The next boss is Ymir. Blanket Thunder will do group-wide damage and tether two players with a lightning chain. These players will need to move away from one another to break the chain. Throughout the encounter, slime spots will drop around the arena that will fetter any player standing in them. The boss will mark up players with these orange marks and begin to cast MEGAVOLT. To negate the damage of MEGAVOLT, affected players need to be debuffed by fetters, which you receive from standing in the slime puddles. Ymir can freeze the arena, and any movement will cause you to spiral out of control in that direction. During this time, he will also mark up a number of players with these ice markers. After a short time, icebergs will drop in these areas. These icebergs will eventually explode for high damage. I recommend dropping your glaciers in a spot along the wall before sliding over to safety. These mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. The last set of trash involves a lot of AoE to avoid. Storm Commander Riki will also apply a slashing debuff on the main tank before Felk leaving their face in. This can do a high amount of damage, so healers and tanks beware. The last boss is Grand Storm Marshal Slafferson. In this phase, you'll deal with a Frontal Cleave and MAELSTRIKE, a group-wide AoE that needs to be healed through. GHOMORO Splitter will cause a number of AoE patches to explode from the ground. Avoid these as necessary. In the next phase, he'll turn into Mistbeard and gain a few new abilities. He'll spawn a number of treasure chests around the room and inflict everyone with a spicy poison debuff. Players need to find the chests that have the vial inside of them and stand in them to remove this debuff. Avoid the chests with bombs in them. At the same time, Mistbeard will cast Bullet Hell, which will do high amount of damage to the group. Healers will need to top everyone off as necessary. Players marked with this indicator will be inflicted with heavy, and Mistbeard will begin to cast GRENADO shot on them. This does a high amount of damage, and healers will need to be ready to dispel this heavy as soon as possible, so the affected players may run out of the AoE in time. Lastly, he'll spawn FIRESAND KEGS around the room. Doing damage to these will punt them away. I recommend punting these away from the group, as Mistbeard will periodically mark one up to explode. Bombs that explode next to others will cause a chain reaction of explosions, but ensure these are kept away from the group and you'll have no trouble with them. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll look at Sorkai. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.